Well, really pleased tonight. I thought our guys played incredibly well, just connected on defense, unselfish on offense, 20 assists, 6 turnovers. And I think some of that comes with a veteran group that over the course of the season, you're always going to have some ups and downs, and I'm really proud of the way these guys, led by our 3 grad students, Brooks and Parker and Raheem, Drake is a senior. I just think they're really mature and they understand the journey of a season. Great crowd tonight, really electric. I mean, it's fun. The students are back, so you could see. I think they had an impact on the game. We shot the ball well last game and again tonight. But more than anything, I just think our connectedness, our defensive intensity, and the way these guys love playing with one another is really inspiring. So appreciate everybody who came out and excited to get a victory against a perennial power in the Summit League who's really talented and well coached.
Tim Hellrich in the Summit. One guy that might not pop out of the box score tonight because of all the good scoring efforts to Drake Dobbs. Could you just talk a little bit about his defense on McBride and just not allowing them to really get anything going at all tonight?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of prolific scorers in this conference, but he's certainly one of them. And you look at what he can do. I mean, I think he put 34 up the other day, and he can make tough shots. He can score at every level, get to the foul line. And Drake all year has been, in my mind, an unsung hero for us. Tonight he doesn't shoot the ball very often. He's willing to do whatever it takes, but he continually, if you watch him, it's really amazing. I don't know if I've ever coached a guy who's as focused and locked in every possession on defense. And that's ball pressure, that's jumping to the ball, it's helping his teammates, it's talking. And even in huddles going into the second half, sometimes those are tough games because we know how explosive they are. And he was being very vocal in the huddle about, score 0-0, let's go. We got to get going again in the second half. So Drake's defense was phenomenal tonight. Not just his defense, but his leadership. Really proud of all that he's done this season.
Did you feel like it was your most complete performance of the season so far?
Yeah, against a team like that, we've had some first halves that have been really explosive at Western Michigan, at North Dakota, but I was really proud of these guys because I thought the first half we played exceptionally well against a team that won it last year. They're one game out of first coming into tonight. But then I thought the second half we stretched the lead out where, it's easy to they're the kind of team, if they hit a couple threes in a row and it's back to 12 or 14, you're in a ball game. And so I thought these guys, it's the benefit of having veterans, as I said, 3 grad students and a senior starting. And I thought in terms of a complete game, I think you could say that offensively, defensively, transition, our energy. So yeah, really thrilled.
Your man sitting next to you got off to a really fast start tonight. I think he had 8 of the first 10, Parker. Just talk about just his leadership and what he brings from an energy standpoint, getting the team going early there.
Yeah, well, Parker, he's just such a unique player because he's our center, but he doesn't really play like a center. He can score around the basket, but he can shoot threes, he can drive it. Tonight he ends up with 19.7 rebounds, but I actually thought his 4 assists are more indicative of the growth he's had. There was one play in the first half where he got doubled, late shot clock, and probably a year ago you might have taken a tough shot, and this time he pivoted, stepped through the double, found a cutting guy for a layup, and just, to me, I told him this the other day, he's scoring about the same number of points, maybe even slightly less than he did last year, yet I think he is so improved in every other area of the game that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. His communication, his help defense, his overall awareness of the game. And so to me, that's really fun to see that we all know what an elite scorer he is, but his impact on this team goes way beyond scoring.
Coach mentioned the overall awareness of the game. How does that just spread to the whole team, especially with only 1 turnover in the first half?
Yeah, certainly turnovers are one of our keystone metrics. We want to take care of the ball. And to have 1 in the first half is, I think it shows that these guys understand the value of the ball. But part of it is also our spacing, right? And the way we move. And Coach Maker does a ton with the offense and just guys understanding their roles. As we've grown during the season, each one of these guys understands what are my strengths and how do I stay away from, kryptonite, right? We all have kryptonite in life, and all these guys have an area where it's like, hey, the bulk of your turnovers or tough shots come here, so let's just stay away from that. And to me, that's where it's not easy, but the game looks relatively easy just because they understand who they are. And that self-awareness, I think, combined with unselfishness, leads them to play that kind of basketball. I think we had 13 assists and 1 turnover at halftime. obviously some of that's we're making shots, but a lot of it is just making the easy play. And I think our balance, as I said earlier, between 2-point attempts and 3-point attempts is getting better and better.
Should Kendall's huge leap over these past couple games or so be a surprise to anyone?
I don't know. I just talked to him in the locker room about that, how proud I am, because I get on him a little bit, because I expect a lot of him, and I know how great he can be. He's done a lot of unbelievable things in 2 years, but I do think his I talked about Parker. His intangibles the last 3 weeks are so much better than they have been. He's always been a great scorer who's really unselfish with unbelievable vision, but his communication, he's being more assertive as a sophomore. His defense is improving. His rebounding, like really every part of his game, and he has a chance to be one of the best players in this conference before he's done. But I give him a lot of credit because he's taken coaching. You know, Coach Rundles and Coach Lowe do all the defensive stuff, and you know they work with him a lot. And you watch his defense right now compared to 3 months ago. It's improved, and that's, you know, to me that's him learning from veterans. It's him being coachable, but it's also like in high school he was one of the best players in the state for a reason, and it wasn't just scoring. I mean, the thing we loved about him probably most as a high school player was his passing and his unselfishness. And you see when he gets out on the break tonight some of the highlight plays that he has, but to me it's more of those plays in the half court where he's just making us better every single possession. So really, really proud and excited for him.
You alluded to it earlier, and it's really been something you've preached all year, but connectedness seems to be the key with this team. Tonight there's just an even bigger energy from the start and the get-go. Everybody just contributing in different ways, whether it was Parker's start or the hot shooting to kickstart, transition with Raheem and Kendall. Just talking about what was the difference tonight in getting the guys to that level? Well,
the last couple of weeks we've talked a lot about just you're lucky to be a college basketball player. I'm fortunate to be a college basketball coach. Like if this is work, I mean, you got to pinch me, right? This is awesome. But we've talked a lot about having joy for each other, that the basketball season's long. These guys are in the weight room. They're in class. I mean, their days are full, and it's easy to get kind of tired, and day after day after day you're doing closeout drills and you're doing defensive stance drills. And so I think the last couple of weeks we've talked about that a little bit more, not because we weren't doing a good job, but I think sometimes it's important to just bring it more to the forefront. And that's what I felt on the road trip last weekend at Omaha and Kansas City. These guys did that. And then we talked today before the game that sometimes at home it's easy to have, there's other distractions when you're at home. So let's just lock in on the 94 by 50 foot court when the ball goes up and stay focused on nothing but the task at hand. And I thought in that sense, going back to Dean's question, probably one of our most complete, if not our most complete games of the year.
Kendall, you were smiling as Coach Dow was complimenting your game. You've clearly, the last few weeks, have played with it. You always played with confidence before, but seemingly a lot more confidence in all facets of the game. Where has that come from, and how has it grown, particularly over the last month?
Yeah, really, it just comes from practice and just focusing every day. Like I'm watching film in my free time and stuff like that. So it just really comes from practice and just trying to get involved in the defensive end first and just letting that play throughout the whole game. So just defense really boosts my confidence. So I just try to go from that from the start of the game and just let it go. So.
Does your offense come off your defense, you think?
Yeah, I would say so. Just getting stops on defense, rebounding the ball, blocking shots, and then running down the floor in transition. Like tonight I had a lot to Raheem that really got me going, got the crowd going and stuff like that. So I feel like my defense leads to my offense in the game. So.
Kendall, probably your greatest attribute on offensive end is just your ability to play off the ball and reading when to cut or when to push in transition.
Yeah.
Tonight you excelled at both. What were you seeing out there?
I was just telling my guys, let's get a stop on defense every time, and our offense was there, but our main focus all the time is defense, and defense can win the games and stuff like that. So I just try to get a feel for the game on offense every time and just try to make the right play for my guys.
Parker, you guys are right in the mix here in the conference as we get down to the nitty-gritty, so to speak. Was that part of it tonight, that knowing that this was a team, this was another hurdle for you guys in terms of trying to reach that goal of winning the conference?
Yeah, I mean, we go into every game pretty much the same. Every game is just as important. I mean, towards the end of the conference play, it might seem like those games are more important, but every single game is super important. So we go in with a clear strategy, and we don't take people lightly, you know, whether who they are. You know, we can win from anyone or lose to anyone. So I thought we came out, you know, really together. I thought we played great defense, and like Kendall was saying, you know, when we get stops on defense, you know, that takes care of the offense, right? We're just making reads at that point, and I thought we, you know, executed really well today.
Parker, how did it feel to play in front of the student body again this season?
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's great to have that many fans out there. You know, we really feed off that energy, so we're super thankful to have such a great fan base out there and to support us every night.
In such a wide open season, any of you guys can answer this. Seedings are really going to come down to the wire, and tiebreakers are going to be heavily involved. Tonight, you clinch a head-to-head tiebreaker over Oral Roberts. Just talk about the importance of winning the season series and having that over them when it comes down, because you'll probably fall pretty close to them in the standings.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's nice. Some years it's nicer than others. I don't know if you ask the coaches in the conference, who would you like to play in the first round? I don't know how you'd find a consensus necessarily, right? If you look at already the wins and losses and how tight the conference race is. So, I mean, honestly, this year, I guess it's nice that you'd have a higher seed, but when I look at, okay, who's going to be, 3, 4, 5, I don't think at this point anything's settled, and so, not to diminish that, Tim, but I think getting a win we're thrilled to get a win, and at the end, all that stuff will sort itself out. And I think these guys do a really good job of focusing on what we can control, right? It's fun for fans to scoreboard watch. Honestly, we don't really look at it. There are a lot of times I don't even know the conference standings. I know it's all bunched up, but it's like, let's just us keep getting better, and we want to be playing our best basketball at the end of the season.
Stay out of that laying game, right?
Yeah, obviously, that would be a goal, the 8-9 game. But, I'll tell you what, who's the 8-9? I don't know. I know the 8 and 9 seeds are going to be really competitive, and whoever they play in that first round is not going to have an easy game. So it's a fun conference. Fun for the fans, stressful probably for the coaches' wives.
Any last questions? Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.